Gates jumping over a chair. That's a pretty good jump for a nerd.
Drop a like to this video if you're a fan of Joe Rogan. Hey there everyone, what's up? And welcome back to another video on Film Vert. Joe Rogan is known for his controversial style, where people often talk about how little he dwells into asking the hard questions. But even then, there have been plenty of times where he took digs at his guests. Here are 5 of those times. But before we get to those times, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on anything. Alright, let's begin. Number 5. Lex Fridman. An AI scientist by profession, Lex Fridman would not have expected a time where he would be required to defend the science community at Joe Rogan's podcast. But the events whirled in a way where he was left with no other choice. He obviously had to defend what was being used as an insult against smart people. While discussing random stuff, Joe Rogan and Lex Fridman started discussing a video they both saw where a young Bill Gates was jumping over a chair. Impressed by that jump, Joe commented that the jump was really good considering it was coming from a nerd. Lex just couldn't bear that statement, and thus he went on talking about how the word nerd has been used in a derogatory sense against scientists or people who are good at studying. The discussion apparently ended nowhere, but they still went on talking about it for quite some time. If anyone asked me who won the debate on the word nerd being offensive, I would say Lex clearly won the match. It was quite visible that Joe was self-contradicting his statements, which kind of even made him a bit excited.
Over a chair. That's a pretty good jump for a nerd.
Number 4. Milo Yiannopoulos. Milo Yiannopoulos is well known for his far-right views, and without really getting into how good or bad that is within itself, everyone knows you could expect some pretty bold statements from such type of people. As a matter of fact, Milo is known for making controversial remarks, and he actually goes by the title of a commentator, where he would give his 2 cents on the stories being talked about in the world. It was visible from the very beginning that Milo and Joe had no chemistry between them, but as the podcast went further, their resistance to each other's style and ideas became too apparent. But then came a topic which Joe just could not let go of, where Milo made a statement about how Christianity acts as the basis of the Western societies. Joe just would not accept that statement, and the two kept on throwing out points and theories about the statement. It came to a point where the podcast became very messy as none of them was willing to properly listen to the other speaker, and they would just begin talking before the other one would even finish their statements.
So you believe that it's a good idea to have confession?
Yeah. Number 3. Live Kindly. Though Live Kindly did not actually appear as a guest at Joe Rogan's show, they have been head to head for quite some time now. Joe does not directly have any issues with the people at Live Kindly. Rather, it is the idea of veganism that makes him disgusted. He feels that the entire notion behind veganism is absurd, and due to that, he has been at their backs for quite some time now. Live Kindly fought back in a detailed video they released earlier this month, where they rebutted everything Joe had talked about and proposed against veganism. Number 2. Joey Diaz. People generally expect comedians to be kind and gentle because without gentleness, anything they say might be taken as offensive. Joe Diaz, being a very famous comedian, did not really adhere to that concept, and he went all nuts at Joe Rogan for some pretty weird stuff. Everyone knows about Joe Rogan's fondness with pot. He is not shy of it, and neither does he try to hide it. He even smoked pot live on a session with Elon Musk. But when Joe Rogan mentioned his habitual pot smoking to Joey Diaz and started telling a story about it, Joey Diaz lost his cool and started yelling about how fake Joe Rogan's weed is. Now, I'm not really sure why Joe Rogan was putting up with such a behavior, but I'm not sure that he must have not liked someone else mocking his taste in pot. Number 1. Jamie Kilstein. Rape is a sensitive topic all over the world, and while discussing making insensitive jokes about rape, Jamie made a statement in Joe's podcast where he said that he would rather die than go through rape and sexual abuse. Joe, rightfully so, did not put up with that statement, and he went on taking full digs at Jamie, and talked about how wrong the statement was at so many levels. After all, being a famous podcaster enables Joe to have some pretty rigid ideas of his own, and he, like the rest of us, defends them whenever he finds it fit. This brings us to the end of our video, and we hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, let us know by liking the video. Stick around for more amazing content, as we'll be seeing you soon in another video. Until then, take care and goodbye.